Hey guys, Gathering the Magic back again, and this is part 2 of the Splinterlands Card Market Watch for October 12th, 2025. So in this we're just going to do a deep dive into the card market. We're going to take a look at prices for the cards, as well as how many are in, not many in circulation, but how many are in circulation on the marketplace. One of the changes they made a few months ago, they used to have like right in the center of the card how many total cards were in circulation. Now you actually have to click on the card and it'll tell you right here in the upper left how many of each card there are. So wish they hadn't changed it, at least for, my Market Watch videos. It's really nice to be able to just have that information right here on the screen. There's no way, of course, I can look at all of them one by one, but we'll just do the best we can. So right now, we're going to start with the Alpha Commons. So as you can see here, there's still one Alpha Common under 20 cents, the Haunted Spider, total of 6 copies available. So you can see here I have at least one copy of each of the Alpha Commons. I did that a long time ago. I still want to get, I think, one of each of the Alpha cards. Let's go to the rares. So your rares start at $1.10 all the way up to 118 for the Clay Golem, but of course this is for a level 8 card. So this is max level. It's the only one available on the marketplace for $118. You can see the rest of the cards here. Some of them, as you can see, even the rare cards, there's only a single copy on the market, 9 copies. Let's take a look at the Archons, see what the prices of those are doing. So considering this is the first set ever in Splinterlands history, it's just amazing to me that any of these are like under $5 or $10 a piece, even being rare. This is just part of Splinterlands history. So I definitely need to get a few more. The only one I have right now is Tyrus, but I need to go ahead and pick up at least one of these, because like I said, I'd like to have at least one of each Alpha card at some point. Okay, going to the epics, Serpent of the Flame is the cheapest epic at $4.47, up to the Screaming Banshee at $9.92. You can see the amount on the marketplace here. And then finally, your legendaries from Alpha start at $23 for the Frost Giant, up to $166.25 for the Gold Dragon. This is the only one available on the marketplace. So you can see there's only a handful of each of these Alpha legendaries up for sale. Checking out the gold foils, so gold foil commons, one right at $10, another one at $11, then they jump to $16 and higher. You can see here the only one I have, I bought the Feral Spirit when it was, what was it, $8, something like that. So not going to sell it, just hanging on to it, but just could not resist picking up an Alpha Gold common card. So if you are interested in cheap Alpha Golds, there are a handful of them that are under $20. Moving on to the rares, now you start seeing $35, $44 quickly, $60, $80. So there's only 4 cards under $150. And you can see here most of these only have 1 or 2 copies available on the marketplace. Most expensive currently is Zintar at $450. Stone Splitter Orc as well, $450, with Malric at $450. Looking at your epics, $330 for the Air Elemental, all the way up to Swamp Thing at $1,400. Once again, only 1 or 2 copies of most of these on the marketplace. With the exception of Serpent of the Flame, there are 6 copies available. Let's see how many total there are. So there's only 67 cards of this in existence. Just how rare the golds are for Alpha. And then your legendary cards, like I said in part 1, there's a handful of cards available for sale. Lord of Darkness at $1,150. Selenia Sky at $9,500. Spirit of the Forest at $15,000. Gold Dragon $15,000. And Angel of Light at $18,000. 13 copies of that available. Gold Dragon, there's 24. Spirit of the Forest, 17. Selenia Sky, 22. And Lord of Darkness, there are 21 copies available. So extremely limited cards. These are your original chase cards right here. Gold Foil Alpha Legendaries. Okay, let's look at your promo cards. So these are all the promo cards that are currently available. So for your regular foils, you have the common at $7.95, the rare at $2.40, and the legendary at $1.99. And your gold foil versions here, Dragon Whelp $99, Nebseni at $400, Royal Dragon Archer at $9.99, and then Shinlo at $12.34. All right, let's move to beta. Let's look at core and reward from beta, starting with your commons. So you have one common at 4 cents, then they're 5 cents plus, all the way up to most expensive is Spineback Turtle at $2.62. Is that for a single copy? No. This is for a level 4, but then there's single copies for almost the same price. So if you're looking at a per card price, right around 21, 22 cents is where this card should be at. So those are your common cards. Moving on to rares. So your rares start at 20 cents. Wow, the chicken is the cheapest at 20 cents. That's probably one of the most useful ones. Surprised that's the cheapest. All the way up to Javelin Thrower at $2.68, Prismatic Energy at $1.98, Alric at $1.67. Let's look at the Archons. So 35 cents for Zintar, Tyrus at 45, Liana at 60 cents, Malric at 83, Alric $1.67. Okay, moving on to epics. So now your epics start at 64 cents for the Raging Impaler, 76 cents for the Divine Sorceress, then you jump to 80 cents and above. And your most expensive is currently Jarlaxle the Undead at $12. There are your epic cards, and then finally your beta legendaries. Sacred Unicorn at $4.29 is the cheapest. All the way up to Voldemort. Look at Voldemort down to $26. Most expensive is Hydra. This is probably a max copy. Yep, so there are only max copies of Hydras on the marketplace, and 3 of them right at $70. So no individual BCX of Hydra. Plato. It's just weird to see these in the top, because usually it's always Voldemort and Prince Renan are your top 2. Lord of Darkness $9.50, Cryptmancer $15.19. Where's Selenia Sky at? Wow, Selenia Sky only $5.50. So there are some hidden gems, I think, for some of the older sets. Okay, let's look now at the gold commons. So a couple gold commons under $2. $2 seems to have been the floor for beta gold foil commons. So if you can get them under $2, that's a little bit of a deal. So $1.88 for the Etten Spearman. All the way up to Gelatinous Cube at $8.50. Going to the beta rares. Now Cockatrice at $7.04. Boogeyman at $8.08. Gold foil chicken at $9.95. Gold foil Alric $45. And most expensive is Cerberus at over $2,200. Is this a max card? No. Look at this. 1 BCX for that. Not sure why this is so limited. Yep, 1 copy, level 3, 2,200. 2 BCX basically for 3,000, and then a single copy for 3,000. 353 available in circulation. Epics. Epics start at $35 for gold foil, all the way up to Brownie at $205.39. And then finally your gold legendaries start at $350 for Korjak, up to $4,000, there we go, for Voldemort and Prince Renan. These are usually the 2 most expensive. They are the 2 most expensive gold foils. How many of these are in circulation? 48 for Voldemort, gold foil, and Prince Renan 41 gold foil. All right. So now let's take a look at the promo cards. So these are your regular foil promos. Went through all these in part 1. We'll just recap real quick. Delwyn at 18 cents, Dragonling Bowman at 41, Fiendish Harpy at 88 cents, Red Dragon at 6.15. Archmage Arius and Prince Julian have come down since I did part 1. They were both, I believe one was 600, one was 666. Now they've both come down to $499. So just shows how quickly market prices can change just in the last hour or so that I did part 1. And then your gold versions, Delwyn is at $429, the Bowman at $18.94, Fiendish Harpy at $200, and a gold Red Dragon at $450. All right, let's move on to Orb. So your commons are 5 to 9 cents. Your rares, 22 cents for the Undead Archer, 28 cents for the Eels, and 34 cents for the Bard. Your epic, 60 cents for the Dwarven Wizard, $1.58 for the Mermaid Healer. And then your 3 legendary cards, Minotaur Warlord, $3.87, Lord of Fire, $4.15, and Corrupted Pegasus, $5.97. Your gold foils, $1.84 to $2.21 for the common cards. Rares, $18.19 up to $45 for the Undead Archer. The only gold foil, of course, is the Dwarven Wizard for $48.98. And your 3 gold foil legendaries, $300 for Lord of Fire, $350 Corrupted Pegasus, and $400 for Minotaur Warlord. All right, moving to Untamed. Untamed Core and Reward. Your regular foil commons. So start at a penny. And go all the way to 12 cents for the Giant Scorpion. Your rares start at 4 cents for the Grim Reaper. All the way to $1.20 for the Silver Shield Sheriff. Why is he $1.20? Oh, that is for a level 3. So there are no individual copies for sale at a decent price. Individual copies start at $3.89. Yeah, good luck with that. You can see that should be like a 7 to 10 cent card. Let's take a look at the Archons. Wow, 8 cents for a Wizard of Eastwood to 22 cents for Bortus, so very affordable Archons. Looking at Epics, starting at 14 cents. Up to $2.50 for Pyromancer. And then finally your legendary cards. Even dollar for Spirit Druid. All the way to some of the key cards. Kitty, $33.98. Look at Lear, $25.50. That is for a level 3. So level 3s are the cheapest. Individual copy for $29.70. Another level 1, 2 copies for $37.61. Max copy, yeah, I was going to say about 4. Usually he's about $4 a piece, $4 to $5. Jotun at $18.62, Llama at $16.14, Chancius $7.96, Kron at $7, Cornelius at $6.81. Look at Mimosa, $4.06. This is, I think, another hidden gem to get a legendary summoner from Untamed for right around $4. I think that's a steal to get a legendary. How many are there? 1,500. So there's a decent amount. There's 1,100 kitties. All right, let's take a look at the gold foil versions. So your gold foil commons, 42, 44 cents is the floor for Untamed. All the way up to $2.50 for the Cursed Slime Ball. Sounds like a curse. You cursed slime ball. $1.71 for the Grim Reaper. All the way to $25 for Contessa. And this is for a single copy. So that is why it is so expensive. Normally, if you look at the other Archons, you're going to see they're in the $2 to $5, $2 to $6 range. So this one should probably be like a $3 card. So don't pay $25 for that card. Epics. Your gold epics start $8.37, quickly jump up to about $10 a piece. Up to $34 for Warchang. And then finally, your gold legendaries from Untamed start at $79 for Diamond Dragon. Up to, you would think Kitty or Jotun would be the most expensive. It's actually Gloridax Magus at 800. He's the only one on the market. Scale Doctor at 500. And there are your gold legendaries. Okay, let's look at the promo cards. So these are the promo cards in the set. Halfling Alchemist at 58 cents. Chain Golem, $21.20. Goldfoil Halfling Alchemist, $29.68. Goldfoil Chain Golem, $79.97. And then regular foil Mighty Dricken at $149.99. Okay, let's move on to dice. So dice commons, 3 cents to 18 cents. Your rares, which are your Archons, Vera is at 8 cents along with Quid. Bright and Bloom at 19 cents, Ouster at 22 cents, Lorna Shine at 30 cents, and Mylor at 51 cents. Your epics range from 16 to 24 cents, and your legendary cards start at $1.90 and go to $8.18 for Epona. Look at Crawless under 6. Like I've said, Crawless and Epona seem to just really range wildly in prices. You know, sometimes you'll see Crawless $12 to $18. I've seen it in the low 20s. Now it's at 6. So these cards bounce all over the place. So if you're interested in a Crawless, I think that is a great price to be able to pick one up at $6. Okay, and then gold foils. Oh, we have a winner. I'm looking at my phone. Vozena. Okay, Vozena, after this, leave your in-game name and I will send you the item that I mentioned in part 1. So thank you for watching. Okay, so your gold foils start at 44 cents to 61 cents. Your rares, $2.18 up to $14.90 for Mylor. Epics, $10 to $11.44 for the Dragon Spirit. And your legendary cards start at $79.95 for Oaken Behemoth, up to $1,000 for Poseidon. Okay, that is it for dice. Let's go to Chaos Legion. Chaos Legion core and reward cards. I'm sure you guys know these things are very, very cheap, of course. Commons, 1 cent to 2 cent Chaos Agent and 3 cent Scavo Hireling. Your rares start at a penny all the way to most expensive Kelia at 10 cents. I think earlier when I recorded part 1 this was 15, so it's down to 10 cents. Let's just look at the Archons just for laughs. Remember when these things were like $1 or more each and Kelia was like $3 to $4 a card? Now you get them from 4 to 10 cents. Okay, and then your epics start at 7 cents and a very tight range from 7 to 10. So Grund is sitting at 10 cents. Your legendary cards down to 35 cents is the floor. Up to Conqueror Yasik at $1.54. Okay, gold foils. So let's take a look at the gold foils. So your gold foil commons, Gargoyle Lion is the cheapest at 12 cents. Up to 90 cents for the Scavo Hireling. Now let's take a look at how many max level cards are available, because I know a lot of people are looking for gold foil Chaos Legion for land. So a max gold Gargoyle Lion is going to run you $4.99, $5 for Scavo Chemist. So we've got a few more in the $5 range. Actually, we've got a lot under $6. So if you're looking to spend $6 or less for a max gold foil common, you've got a lot of choices. Now there's not a whole lot of each available. As you can see, there's 2, 6, 3, 7. There's a ton of Inari Heat Smith. There's 12. These two I think are popular just because for grain, you know, a lot of times if you have a river or a lake, you're going to need earth or you're going to need water. Life is another one too if you have plains. But you notice the cheapest life card is what, 661 for the Conjurer. So, but still, there's a decent amount at, you know, $5 to $6 for a gold foil common. Okay, let's look next at your gold foil rares. So now you're hitting right around 80 cents. 81 cents is the floor for a gold rare. Gonna let it load the correct. There you go. All the way up to the most expensive is Kelia at $1.29. So let's see how many max copies are available on the market. So you're looking at 19, 20 bucks is the floor. Let's say you go all the way to 22. So if you go to 22 bucks, you've got a few to choose from. It looks like a lot of fire. So there's at least 3 fire ones, several earth, couple water. So like I said, for me, for some of my grain plots, I'm looking for either earth or water. It's nice to see that these are the cheapest. And $58 for the slip spawn. There's only one available there. $39. There's only one available there. But yeah, you're looking at basically 19 to 25 bucks to get a decent range of choices for gold rares. And now my favorite rarity, the epics. Very tight range, $3.18 up to $4.08 for Jinchwala. There we go. You can see how many are available on the market. Now let's look at max level copies. Look, not very many. So you've only got 7 different ones that are available. And look, guys, most of these are ones. There's 2 of Igor. That's it for max copies. And looks like you've got fire, you've got dragon, you've got 1 water, 1 earth, 1 death, 1 life. So not a lot of choices, but at least you've got 1 of each splinter represented. You're looking, what, $34 to $45 a piece. So these, I think, are the most popular choice. Like I said, I love these. It just, you know, the cost, being able to build them up slowly. But yeah, as far as max levels go, there's not many out there. But if you just need to pick up a couple here or there, you know, it's good to do. I was able, in the last week, to finish maxing out. I had a Grund, 100 Jarks started. What was the other one that I maxed out? Oh, Weirding Warrior was another one I had in my bog. So I was able this week to finally max those 3 out and put those on my grain plots. Okay, legendaries, 22-ish dollars is the floor, but look at how tight the range is. From 22, and your most expensive is only 31. So very tight range in all these cards. And I still think being able to pick up a gold foil legendary summoner, even though, yeah, there's a lot of them out there, you know, close to 500, but still, I don't know, just long term, years down the road, as Splinterlands grows and evolves and has more formats, you can't tell me that these are not going to be playable in different formats. These aren't going to be able to be used in land or in guild brawls or in something in some special way that's going to give these things some value. So we'll see, time will tell, but I still think that, you know, even though these things are very printed compared to other sets, that, you know, long term, I think these things are going to have some good value. Yeah, let's just take a look too. I don't really do this, but let's look at the max level for legendaries. I think it's usually around 100. Okay, so you've got some under 100. Actually, Heartclaw under 87, Voidmaw 93. So I know Level Up Life does a lot, and so does Jeff Opens Cards with land. So I'm sure they keep a close eye on this as well. And like I said, I think pretty much the floor, if you can get them under 100, you know, for a max level gold Chaos Legion card, legendary, it's a pretty good deal. And especially this one under 87. So either Jeff or Level Up Life, I'm sure you guys will snag this one in the not too distant future. Let's see, that's Chaos Legion. Let's look at the, well, let's look at the reward cards, and then we'll do the promos. So your common reward cards, 5 to 16 cents. The rares, 19 cents to 45 cents. Your epics, $1.15 up to 30. And then the legendary cards, $4.35 for Musa all the way up to $89 for Osut. And then the gold foil versions, $1 to $2.45 for the commons, $4.50 to $43 for the rares, $20 to $69.25 for your epics, and then finally your legendaries. There's only 5 of the 12 available, and you can see here 1 copy, 2, 5 of the Dry Bone Raider, 2 copies of Barracks, and only 1 copy of the Tenacious Hulk. Okay, now let's look at the promo cards. Just look at all the promos. So the Bear at 3 cents. Vruz is up to 9. Earlier today, when I did part 1, it was 4. Zerial at 348. Dr. Blight 591. Osher 655. Waka at 54.99. And look at this, guys. Lux Vega actually under $100. So there are basically 7 copies right at $100. So if you ever wanted a Max Lux Vega, now is your chance to get one for $100. And then your gold foil versions, Vruz 91 cents, Archimus at 93, Dr. Blight at 34.95, Zerial 43.20, Osher 78.07, Waka at 2000, and Lux Vega at 2500. Okay, and let's look at Riff Watchers. So Riff Watcher commons, 1 cent to 4.56. The rares, 2 cents to 28. Queen of Crows is back to the top spot at 28 cents. Look at this, Tinderlock only 4. And Corsair Boson, these are 2 that I used all the time, so I'm surprised to see that these are that cheap. Epics, Skargor at 23 cents. Look at Dahlin moving up the list. Dahlin, 59 cents. Fernhart at the top spot at 89 cents. And then legendaries, Runemancer at 65 cents. And Inevitable at 1071. All right, your gold foil versions for Riff Watchers, commons, 13 cents to $30 for the Time Meddler. This is for a max copy, I believe. Yep, max copy there. But still, $30 for a max common. Well, it is the only one. Yep. So he can ask whatever price he wants. 86 cents for Tinderlock, up to $1.95 for Kabbalist. Your epics, $3.87 for Dahlin to $14 for Thispa. And then finally your gold legendaries, $27 for Runemancer Flory, up to $90 for Kane Hayes. All right, let's move to Rebellion. Core Rebellion, 1 to 2 cents for the commons, all the way up to, let me set just on common cards, and just regular foil. So 1 cent to 57 cents for Dolfar. There's a card that's really moved up too, Endless Ape. That was usually one of the cheaper ones. Now it's up to 29 cents, getting up toward the top spot. Rares start at 5-6 cents for your Rebellion rares, all the way up to 80 cents for the Soothsayer. Your epics, 23 cents up to 280 for Cror. And then finally your legendary cards. And we went through the legendary list in part 1, so I won't rehash it, just kind of show you the cheapest ones are under $1 for a Rebellion legendary. And Tofu's down to, seems to be $40 is now the going price, and Lorca's right around 35. Venka is still holding 20. Okay, then your gold foils for Rebellion. So a couple cards just under 50 cents, all the way up to $8.10 for Zedeca. Your rares start at $1, quickly go to $1.27, all the way up to $31.01 for the Moxian Rebel. Your gold epics, basically $6 to $12 for Captain Fellblade. And then your gold legendaries, we went through these in part 1. You can see here the cheapest is $27.80 up to $2.99 for Venka. And I also mentioned in part 1 is very unusual to see tofu this far down the list to $163. So this might also be a hidden gem for someone, along with Rage. I think at $75 for Rage, this seems to me a little bit low. But some good prices for some of these cards. Okay, so that's it for the core. Let's look at the reward cards. And as I mentioned in part 1, these are going to be rotating out in the next week or so. So this will be your last chance to get them directly from the shop. Otherwise, you'll have to get them through the market. So you're looking at 5 to 10 cents here. Your rares, 22 cents to 37 cents. Your epics, $1.50 to $1.90. And then finally your legendaries from $7.90 up to $11.90. And your gold foil versions of the reward cards, $1 to $2.76. The rares, $6 to $14.79. Epics, $54 to $60 for Olivia the Brook. And then there are no gold legendary reward cards for sale. All right, so promo cards. So we went through all the promo cards one by one in part 1. So I'm just going to scroll through slowly so you can see how many of each of these are actually in circulation. You know, I was surprised to see Mantroth down to $13.50. Some of these are still really holding their value. And of course, there's a Heloise the Hollow. And since part 1 it was $7.99, there's now one listed for $6.99. So those are your promo cards. All right, let's go to Conclave Arcana. We'll start with the extra, the Arena Fanatic. There's one for 67 cents and the gold foil at $3.50. Looking at the core, let's just look at regular foil commons, starting at 1 to 2 cents, all the way to 15 cents for the Vicious Giraffe. Your rares, so you're starting at 11 cents. Up to, let's see what the Archons are doing. So Gorgug has been under $1, so he's the cheapest at 75 cents. Kavor at $1.08, Razzie at $1.24, along with Fifth, $1.24, Kalia at $1.25, and Bella at $1.36. So even after all this time, he slipped a little bit, but these are still well above $1. Your epics, 33 cents for Songale, 40 cents for Hodlore, all the way to 75 cents for the Abyssal Elemental. And then finally your legendary cards. So legendary is holding above $3.50, up to $18 for Arrowbait. So this one has kind of jumped up in price. It had been Sheng Xiao and Oridum had been the top couple cards. Now this one, let's see, $18 for single copies, $20 for single copies. But if you want a max copy, you can get it for about $5.50 to $6 a piece. I was going to say that seems to be more of the price range I was thinking for this card. Somewhere in here, $5 to $6. Okay, let's look at the gold foil version. So gold foils, look how cheap these are, 30 cents and less. Up to only $1.18 for a common gold foil. Then your rare start at $1.75. Up to, these have come down a little bit in price. Look at this, Gorgug down to $5.55. I need to snag this one. So this one is another hidden gem. I think you guys know these things have been $10 plus pretty much since they came out. So to be able to get one for $5, That's a pretty good deal. Even Kavor, the dragon one, to get him under 10. So those are your prices for your golds. For the rares, your epics, still affordable, $7.50 to $10.50 for gold epic. And then finally your gold legendaries, Zarin the Scorch at 45, up to 120 for Jacarilla. And what is next? Well, before we go to the promos, we have to go to core and we have to go to all the different variants. Okay, so your black foil. So 104.89 is your cheapest common, all the way up to 200 for Bludgeon Hucker. You go to rares, you can see how much there's that many fewer cards for sale. Basically 250 to 900 for your black foil rares. Epics, there's only 3. And then legendaries, yep, just these 2 again. Bellomancer, $12.99. Zarin the Scorch, $14.88. That's it for the black foils. Now when you get to the gold variant, for your commons, oh, this has changed since an hour and a half ago. So this was $77.77, now it's down to $59.99, up to $350. For your rares, yep, 3 of them still at $159.99. And I believe that was it. Yep, no epics and no legendaries. And then finally, these are the only 2 black foil arcane cards. The common Bludgeon Hucker for 400 and the Archon Kavor Skarn for 12,000. Okay, so that's it for core. Let's look at promo. So your pickle, 6 cents, $1.55 for the gold, 155 for the gold arcane, 245 for the black foil, and 400 for the black foil arcane. Your rare Skinwalker, 64 cents, 726 for the gold, 500 for the black foil. Tasoshi, 375 with the gold foil at 39. And then your legendary Gramel at 12.59, Gotham at 17.49, Yabanus at $99, gold foil Gramel at 145, and gold Dargatum at 174.11. All right. What is left? I think the last thing to go through is Foundation. So let's look at the regular foil. There was a new card added, Dire Bear. So Dire Bear is currently at 4 cents. Pretty soon he'll be down to a penny, along with the rest of the commons. The rare, so the new rare that was added is Morris Malik. He's currently sitting at 4 cents. Your Archons, you can see here, have come down much more in price. 11 cents for life, 14 cents for fire, 21 cents for earth, 22 cents for death, and 27 cents for water. Your epics range from 3 cents to 37 cents for Saltwater Mage. And your legendary cards, Little Sister, 7 cents, along with Great Bear Druid, up to the Scale Weaver, which is under $2 at $1.71. And then your gold foil versions, your gold commons, sitting at 3 cents to 32 cents for the Dire Bear. Your rares, 7 cents to $2.85. Your epics, 45 cents to $3.75. And your legendaries, $2.19 to $10. And I just realized something that I should have been doing in part 1 is keeping track of the black foils. Just in the last week, I picked up, I want you guys to know, so when I do the raffle tomorrow, you're not shocked. I did buy a black foil for $5. I'm like, for $5, I'm buying it. It was this one, the Chaos Fury Bringer. You can see 1. So I bought this for $5, so I have that now on my main account. I just couldn't pass that up. But yeah, I need to start tracking these as well. So $6.99 to $94.99 for the black commons. Your rares, $9.99 to 97.60. So what are the Archons going for? What? 1650? Okay, here's another hidden gem. Look at the price of all these other ones. Now I realize these are only going to silver, but these things are very limited. This I would say 50 to 55 is the rate, so 1650. Okay, if someone does not pick this up in the next hour, I'm adding $20 to my account and I'm buying this card, just to let you know. So when I'm done recording and uploading this video, this card probably will be gone if you guys don't grab it pretty soon. I will buy that card. Because I want to upgrade my main account. I want to get it all maxed, at least max gold. And if I can add a black foil card here and there to pimp it out, I'm definitely doing it. Okay, and your epics, $20 up to 73. And then finally legendaries, $395 to $900. And I can't wait to see. And congratulations in advance to whoever the first person is that ends up pulling an arcane black scale weaver. That is going to be sweet. Okay, so let's look at the gold variants. So 1337 to 499.99 for the commons. Here are the rares. So the only Archon is the Sage. Look at this. This one is $44. The other one's only 15, or what was it, 1650. There are no epics, and there's only, there is a gold legendary, gold arcane legendary root for $6.99. Congratulations to the owner on that. And then your black foil variant. These are all the ones available. So for the commons, 53 to 98.88. And then rares, 40. Oh, this is very underpriced too for an arcane. 40 to 990. And I think that was it. Yep, no epics, no legendaries. Yep, so I definitely need to go back to part 1 and edit it and make sure that I put in the black, the gold variant, and the black variant for future Market Watch videos. Okay, guys, I think that is it. Is that everything? I think we did it. I think we got there. I think we went through everything. If there's something I missed, please let me know. I'll make sure to add it in the next Market Watch. But that's it. That is the Card Market Watch Part 2, October 12th, 2025. Hope you guys are doing well. Like I said, tomorrow I will be doing the raffle update. So I'll be going through all 4 of my accounts, see if I won a black foil card. Actually, let me go to my items so I can show you guys that right now. Yep, so that is the card that I bought, Chaos Fury Bringer. So if I see this tomorrow, nope, I did not win this card. This is a card that I purchased, but hopefully I see your guys' name on the winners list after I check my 4 accounts. So till tomorrow, good luck. Get your last grinding in for Frontier mode. Stay the course. Keep on frontiering. Have fun. Grab your skins next week. What else? Look forward to new reward set in a week or so, new mini set. So lots of stuff coming up. So take care, guys.